Cheers, everybody. Welcome
Hey,
to
hey,
Happy
hey.
Hour. And we're going to make you a promise. I am pretty sure that this is the only destination in America tonight that is an absolute 100% politics free zone. So
That's
come
right.
on in and welcome aboard.
Yeah,
Cheers.
yeah, that's right. Get yourself something to drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. Great to have you with us. It's quite a hat there, Cher.
Yeah,
Quite a
Karamia got this for me. I thought, Bob,
Really?
since you now work the land, that I would dress as though I also work the land.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Karamia.
Very good. I'm glad it's not black because I would think she got it in Salem, Massachusetts.
No, it's like my Ellie Mae Clampett Cowboys.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And speaking of working the land and gardening, and I don't want to be one of these guys that gets, on something and that's all he talks about. That's all he talks about. But gardening is my new thing. And I just saw an article in the New York Times, and I'm going to refer back to what you were just saying, that you might get into it, for relaxation reasons. It is one of the greatest things that you can do to calm down, lower your blood pressure, just kind of get in contact with peace. Now, don't take some boombox out there, and play things at a high level, but just kind of be with the flowers or the vegetables or whatever you're planning, and you will feel better.
Well, I have seen how this has been the best thing for you. Like, this has been such a good hobby for you, and it really suits your, like, the way you think. It allows you to create things and be orderly, and I mean all of it. I'm not going to actually work the land because the land is what I'm allergic to. And also Kevin found a giant copperhead snake, but I am going to have accessories as though I work the land.
Oh, yeah.
That's calming in its own self, I would.
And I'm very peaceful right now with a hat that Karamia got me on my head.
So you're going to be like a landscape manager. You tell him what to do. Yeah.
And I've been bossing you around forever. So I'm dressed like your gardening helper.
Yeah, exactly.
So hi, everybody. Kathleen wants to know if you started playing pickleball.
Oh, no, I have not. I don't have any interest in it. I'm not against pickleball. I think pickleball, actually, I was the first person in America to play pickleball. I think I told you that story. When I got my first divorce, I moved into an apartment called The Slope. And
terrible name.
Terrible name for the apartment.
For a newly divorced man to be living on the slope.
On the slope. And so, it was like a 1-bedroom apartment. And I would drive by these courts that they had. They had a little tiny swimming pool, and they had these courts. And, I played tennis a little bit, but, I was on the slope, so I wasn't playing tennis too much. Anyway, I invited a girl to come over, and I said, we have some tennis courts. And we went out to play, and it was a pickleball court. All those years ago.
Yeah, people think it's new, but it's not.
It's not. And we walked out there, and it was like being giants, in another land. And she looked at me and she said, "This is a really weird tennis court." And I didn't know what to say because I didn't know anything about pickleball.
Maybe that's how we roll at the slope. That's what you should have said.
That's what I should have said. Yeah, that's what we should have said.
Kevin is the gardener in this family, Bob, and he grows like the other night I said, I'm not going to make salad. We don't have any lettuce and I don't feel like going to the store. And hadn't told me it was a surprise. He was growing lettuce. He went outside and picked lettuce and brought it in for me.
Oh, no kidding.
Homegrown lettuce. I love lavender, but you need a ton of sunlight for lavender.
Yeah,
so he finally figured out a way to grow me a patch of lavender. Tropical plants, flowers, lettuce, tomatoes. He grows all that stuff. And I stay inside dressed like I'm going out to work in the yard. And I wave.
We just had one of our listeners say, be very careful, Bob, about offending the pickleball community.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if they come for you, you'll know it.
You will. Oh yeah, they'll in the middle of the night you'll have things against your window, you know?
Yeah.
That's how they attack. I think it's a fun thing. People love it. Where I live, there are pickleball shops. Two of them,
Oh yeah.
and it's just pickleball. And America, we're going to, if we find something, we're going to try to make a buck off of it. And they're like pickleball shirts, pickleball socks, the whole thing. It started out, you just got a racket in this plastic ball, but now it's become something else.
Target has a whole standalone section for pickleball clothes.
Target does?
Target, and the brand is
Wow.
Prince, that makes like the rackets.
Oh yeah.
This is how, so my children's father's birth mother, they live in Minnesota, right outside Minneapolis, and they've been playing pickleball like forever. And
Really?
I thought for the longest time that it was a game the two of them had made up. And they called it pickleball just because
it's a silly name. Yeah.
It sounds made up.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to shout out Regina, who's on the couch recovering from dental surgery and cannot have an adult beverage.
Wow.
And Dory says that she can't type anymore because she's had some wine, and she greets us from the hills of Beverly in Florida. Greetings, Dory.
That's great.
Maybe one glass, my sister.
Lamar, you're all over the place with your RV now. Have you encountered any pickleball courts at RV?
Oh yes,
places?
yes.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
it is. Just I'm going to say probably 50% of the places have it, especially the big, like the resort type things, like the sort of the chain campgrounds, like outdoor stuff like that. KOA. Yeah, they're doing it.
I just saw Mary. Let me tell you what Mary Thorstad, she said, I've been missing too many happy hours. Spring picking of morel mushrooms and hunting wild asparagus.
Ooh.
I am so impressed. Like people that go out and forage like that for, I would be so afraid to eat a mushroom that I picked. I just have no idea what I'm doing, but I love that. I read about,
I never heard of wild asparagus.
Yeah. I read about a restaurant in maybe it was Denmark or Norway where the entire menu is whatever they foraged that day. So you might get like mussels because it's coastal, right? So you might get mussels and like some kind of wild mushrooms. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Super, super.
As long as they have spaghetti with red sauce, that's fine with me.
I want you to imagine me telling the sheriff, we're going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is whatever they foraged.
The only foraged thing I know of is poke salad. Other than that, I don't know anything about
what is poke salad? Because I know the song Poke Salad Annie.
It's a green, and it just grows out wild. It grows in the cow pasture. It grows just places.
What does that mean? It's a green. It's such a southern thing. I'm looking out my back, and there's some grass. That's a green. What is a green?
Is it the one with
collard greens, mustard greens? You got all kinds of greens.
Is it the same as the poke berries? Is it the leaves of the?
You use the leaves. You don't use the berries. You use the leaves.
And do you go pick poke salad? Because I've read about it in books. I've never.
I don't fool with it because I prefer collards, and you can get them at the grocery store, and that's a done deal.
So what's the difference between collards and poke salad?
Poke salad's a little bit more. I'm going to say it's a little bit more bitter, maybe stronger.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
It's got a stronger taste to it.
Yeah.
So.
You know what puts me off about it? I live in the city, and I'm pretty sure that my neighbor's dogs have seasoned the poke salad. And
there's a lot of washing the poke salad. There's a lot of washing the poke salad. This is true. This is very true. So.
I can see telling Karamia, girl, you and me gonna go pick us a mess of poke salad.
I want to say hi to
watch it real good because the neighbor's Scotty dog was in that patch not too long ago.
I want to say hi to Pam Wright. Hi from New Brunswick, Canada. Oh. That's still such a thrill to me that we have people, so far away.
Yeah.
Although Canada is not really that far away, but I mean, somebody's probably watching us right now in Hong Kong. I mean, seriously, probably in Hong Kong. It's just absolutely amazing. But I love New Brunswick. New Brunswick is a beautiful place this time of the year.
Yeah.
Cat Chomp's having Crown Royal, the good stuff tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to say hi to Melanie Jameson Miller, who's in Valdosta, Georgia tonight. Cedar Rapids. Hi, Terry Joe. It went by really, really fast. Hi, Meredith Miller and Patty Lawrence and Teresa Broom and Vicky. Oh, Vicky Showalter Frenger. She digs up pokeweeds and throws it away in the Shenandoah Valley. Well, girl, wash that off and do you cook it, Lamar? Do you eat it raw?
Yeah. No, you got to cook it.
Cook it.
You got to cook it. Yeah.
We have a community garden about, I don't know, quarter of a mile from where I live, less than that. I mean, I could walk over there in 3 minutes, and some of Mary's friends grow stuff. And I will sometimes come home and there are wild onions left at our doorstep. There is broccoli. I mean, it just depends on the time of the year. It's the coolest thing. People have their own little plots, and some of them bring out like umbrellas and leave them out there. There's a Ukrainian flag and an American flag that flies in this plot. There are horses that are walking around. I mean, it's cordoned off, so the horses don't come in there. It is the most bucolic thing, and her friends are so sweet that they grow these things, and they grow too many of them. Potatoes, all of these things, and they drop it at the front door. I mean, it's like magical.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There are community gardens, I'm sure everywhere, but in Philly, there are community gardens scattered all over the city. And you'll have like 30 households rotating, weeding and planting and watering. And it's such it's communal and it's really cool. There's a community garden not too far from where I live near Karamia's old dance studio. And I just love the idea of people kind of bonding together and having that shared task and growing fruits and vegetables. It's really neat when you see it, especially in a big city.
Especially in a big city. I've seen photographs of people doing that in Detroit. You know, Detroit struggled. It was just absolutely one of the most disastrous cities in America. But it's starting to come back because the people that are in charge, the politicians, are saying, we're not going to be what we were, but we can be better by being smaller. And so some of these deserted lots are being rehabbed and doing exactly what you're saying. They're creating gardens, community gardens. And I hope Detroit can pull it off long term. Yeah. I think they're smart to try not to be as big as Chicago, but just, to be Detroit.
If you think about it, so interesting, like the pendulum swing. So after World War II, the pendulum swung really far in the direction of processed convenience foods, mass market, supermarket products, grocery, all of that. And it swung away from the idea of community gardens, which when I was a kid, my grandparents would talk about community gardens in Philly. Like I have a picture of my grandma Whitehair in the backyard of her Philly row house in a dress, pearls, pumps, and apron, holding a cat with a bunch of chickens standing behind her. Like they lived in the city with chickens and they grew what vegetables and stuff they could. We just swung so far away from that because we bought into it's more delicious and it's easy and it's the future. But I think now we're slowly making our way back and it's nice to see.
Yeah,
totally it is. Now the problem is that if you don't have a garden and you go to the store, really fresh food is expensive.
Exactly.
That's been part of the problem with obesity in this country, that it's very easy to get cheap, delicious food that's laden surreptitiously with sugars or corn syrup or whatever it is, and it'll fill you up, but it will not do you any good. But to get, a beautiful red bell pepper is going to cost you, $1.50.
Oh, they were $2.49. They were $2.49 at my grocery store each.
Well, for organic, But
no.
Really?
Oh no, this was some factory pepper. Yeah. What you're talking about, we have two problems. We're all like addicted. human beings crave sugar and we get hooked on it really quickly. So we have that, and there's so much high fructose corn syrup and everything. But we also have a lot of what are called food deserts in America. And part of the reason that the urban gardens sprang up in Philly was because a lot of these neighborhoods were nowhere near a proper supermarket. People were stuck with like little corner markets. And I mean, you just couldn't lay hands on fresh food. And so, and it was expensive and people didn't have cars. It's a mass transit thing. So they started putting these community gardens in to address that whole food desert situation. And I saw the coolest thing, you guys, cool, not in a way that you're like, oh, I think I want that. It's about, I want to say maybe 40 miles outside of Phoenix, Arizona. There's a planned community that they just yanked up in the desert, Bob. But there's nothing but houses. And so these people, they don't have grocery stores, restaurants, anything. Right. But some very enterprising food truck operators were like, wait a minute, I see an opportunity. So if if they don't want to drive into Phoenix, food trucks come into this very strange little planned community in the middle of the desert, and food trucks are the only way that they get like to go out to dinner.
Oh, wow.
It's super, super unusual.
Yeah. Necessity is the mother of invention. Jeff Kleinschmidt, there's a good German guy, has just said, is Bob going to do his gardening podcast? We were just talking about that. I have a name. I haven't done it yet, but I do have a name for it. Can I share the name, Sheri?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just because I'm in the dirt doesn't mean I'm dead.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I think you should do it. I just, you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the part, right?
It really is.
I cut into that garden, I'll go ahead and tell you.
that go ahead and doing it's really such a drag. It was like
so
that
much
in school.
I was talking to one of Karamia's friends who spent the night last night, and she and I were talking, and she was telling me about her little part-time job, and she's like, it's just every day. And I was like, girl, right? Every day with the job.
That's an inside joke of somebody I used to be with.
That's why I laughed so hard when she said it, because I've heard that before. You're not the first person to make that observation.
Yeah.
So hi to Kathleen Sims and Shannon Bloom, who likes your podcast title, Bob, and good. Isaiah Silvis in Elbow Lake, Minnesota. And Jenny,
I'd like to see Elbow Lake, Minnesota. I bet that's a really cool place. They have so many lakes in Minnesota. Elbow Lake. I'm going to look that up when we finish.
Isn't their motto "Land of 10,000 Lakes"?
I think it is.
I think it is. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah.
And hi, Catherine Bolt, and Catherine and Karen Gilmore. And Catherine wants to know what you missed. Well, we are doing the only hour of political free media in America right now. So there's that. And Bob has a new name for his gardening podcast that he hasn't done yet because it's just a lot of work. Tell them the name, Bob.
Even though I'm in the dirt doesn't mean I'm dead.
And Erica says, wait, Bob's got a podcast coming? It's in development, as we say in Hollywood.
Wait. We've got the name. The first thing you got to have is the name. You have to have the name. That's the big hurdle.
It is. It's in development.
It's in development. Yeah. We're workshopping it.
Yeah, those dang podcasts every week.
Yeah, Lamar will tell you. Every week. Lamar will tell you it is a surprisingly large amount of work, isn't it?
It's funny. It's funny because when we were talking about when I Sheri was talking about coming on the show full time. She said, "Now you'll need to do a podcast." I mean, and I said, "No problem." After a little while, I'm like, "You mean every week?" Every week.
Lamar told me yesterday, he's like, when you told me that, because we were out to dinner together, when you told me that, I was like, what's this woman talking about? Oh, but now he knows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
I guarantee you there are people who had a gift for something. Let's say it's the restoration of classic cars or something like that. And they're good at, and the guy has restored like a 57 Chevy and a 62 Vet, right? And people go, "Oh my God, I just love that. You should do a podcast about that." And he said, "Really?"
Yeah.
And the guy goes on, and and the first 3 weeks, man, he is just kicking, right? He's talking about that 62 Vet with the little shell in there, and he painted the outside of the shell red, and then the shell was white, and he got the right wire reel, hubcap things. And then around episode 7, he's going, "What the? What am I going to talk about now?"
Yeah, he sits down. He sits down and he goes,
Do you know what I love about what you just said? Is that most podcasts hit episode 7 and then die.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, that's the
episode. I just threw 7 out.
But it's true. It's true.
That's the actual number.
Episode 7 is the watershed for what we call pod fade, where the podcast just they had enough to say to fill 7 episodes, and then they kind of disappeared after that.
Hey, I've got to call out Dennis. Dennis says Lamar's podcast would be called Bringing Home the Bacon. No, Dennis, evidently you're not listening to Lamar's podcast. It's called Talking Lamar.
That's a pretty good name, though, actually.
Well, it is a great name, but I invite you to listen to Talking Lamar.
Oh, Lamar, speaking of bacon, I had been telling Kevin about the Costco already cooked bacon. And I'm like, Lamar loves it. He's like, if he wants bacon on a sandwich, kaboom, bacon. He can have bacon anytime he wants. He can have bacon in the middle of the night. And Kevin was like, it's not going to be blah, 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 blah. So we go to Costco, and there it is. And I was like, my love, are we ready to believe Lamar about the bacon? He was like, all right, we can buy 1 package. He texted me last night. I was with my friend Wendy. He texted me last night and said, Lamar was right. I hope there's, he goes, I hope there's some left.
I want to hear about this product again, because I was at our grocery store, and I was over by the seafood area and the fresh meat area. And I walked a few feet and I saw this whole display of salmon. I think it was salmon stew or salmon soup or something like that, in pouches, unrefrigerated. Yeah. So
yeah, it's ultra pasteurized.
Yeah, ultra pasteurized, and it's sealed, and there's no air getting in, and
Lamar, talk about the Costco pre-cooked bacon, because it is amazing.
I fought this. I fought all pre-cooked bacon. I'd hear people say, well, I use pre-cooked bacon. And I'm like, what is these words you're saying? I mean, why don't you just go turkey bacon? There's no such thing as good pre-cooked bacon. I'm just against it. So we got some friends that live up in upstate, and we were visiting, and we got up one morning, and she said, well, let's have some bacon and eggs. And I said, okay. And she said, I've got this pre-cooked bacon from Costco. And I said, boy, this is a really conundrum here. Because when you say Costco, I automatically think it's great. Okay, it's great.
Yeah.
But then when you say pre-cooked bacon, I think the devil. This is how.
Right.
I'm not so sure that Eve didn't eat pre-cooked bacon and not an apple. I'm here to tell you it's bad. It's bad. So she says, I said, I don't do pre-cooked bacon. She said, well, give this a shot. And so I'll go ahead and do the eggs and everything. And I sat down and I got a piece of that pre-cooked bacon. I took a couple of bites. Now, it's not Wright's bacon. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not Wright's bacon, but it's bacon right now. I mean, it's right now. And it was very good. It had a great taste. And I said, how long did it take you to cook this? And she said, 47 seconds. And I said, you have changed my life. Because when I cook bacon, I put bacon into a cold oven and then turn the heat on. So this is an investment in my time. And I still do. On a leisurely day, I'll cook. But every sandwich I have, I don't care. I just had a turkey sandwich a while ago before this started. And while I'm fixing the turkey, I thought, hey, I got 47 seconds. I had a bacon and turkey sandwich. I'm making a peanut butter sandwich. Well, I got 47 seconds to go. I'll have a peanut and bacon sandwich. It was Perfect.
Kevin never, like, I think sometimes on purpose, he never gets on board with some of these ideas. But this one, he is on the Costco bacon train. And now I have to tell you something, Bob, that you're just going to die.
Before you tell me, I have to tell you that the devil has tricked you, because if you're putting bacon on everything, and I like bacon and I know you do a good job, but it's an effort to make bacon. And now it's not an effort for you to make bacon, and you're putting it on everything, and it could kill you. That is the hand of the devil. Do you not agree with me?
You know what, Wonder? I will be a bright light that shone brightly and burned out quickly and enjoyed every moment.
The man, what vices does the man have? He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't watch porn. He eats pre-cooked bacon from Costco.
I apologize.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the bourbon is a real cholesterol buster upper. I really do.
I do.
I think
all right. I'll drink to that. Yeah,
I think it's a vein cleaner. So I think we're good.
There you go. So Sheri, what were you going to say?
You're going to love this. So I was a guest on somebody else's podcast this afternoon. I don't know when the episode's going to drop, but when I find out, I'll let you know. And we got to chatting afterward. And early in his career, he was one of the top writers for Men's Health magazine. And he said to me, I got so tired of finding new ways to write about abs. He said, I told him, I said, you don't even know. Bob and I lived for Men's Health magazine. It was the Cosmo for men. Like every month, Cosmo would go tease him in the bedroom with this kitchen implement, or some nonsense like that. And Men's Health, it was abs, abs, abs. So they found out, Men's Health magazine found out that if they wrote about abs and put it on the cover, they sold more issues. This man for years, every month had to come up with a new way to talk about abs. And he said, I don't have abs. I've never had abs, and I'm never going to have abs. And you know why that is? Because if you want abs like that, that's the only thing you have in your life. It's you and your abs. That's it. I was on the floor. I said, you have no idea. It was probably your stuff we were reading and making fun of. We couldn't wait for the new Men's Health to come out every month.
It's so true. If you want to have a body like that, and I don't, and so, I mean, you can say, oh, you're just saying that because you don't have abs like that. I've never had abs like that. None of my friends have ever had abs like
95% that. 95% of the people don't have abs like that.
If that much, you have got to have a workout regimen that gets you up at 5 a.m. and then you drink carrot juice until 6 o'clock at night, and then you have some vegetables. That's the only way to do that. I'm sorry.
We've all got abs exactly like that. We just can't see them. You got to get rid of everything that's in front of them. I mean, that's the whole point. I read an article. Now, here's another thing. I'm going to say this about Men's Health. The other thing they have on the cover every month, the ultimate workout. It's the ultimate workout. Last month, it was the ultimate workout. Next month, that will be the ultimate workout.
Right.
It never stops. But I read an article. This guy, he showed some pictures of him in some sort of photo shoot he did. And I mean, buddy, he was awesome. And I think about this every time I see The Rock in a movie or whatever. He doesn't look like that every day. He does not look like that every day. This guy said, here's the deal. I know the photo shoot's coming. So for 3 weeks, this is what I do. This is my diet plan. This is everything I do. He said, by the time I'm doing this, he said, I'm dehydrated because I've cut out all the water. He says, I've not had, he said, I'm almost dizzy. He said, when you see, it's like the guys, when you go to the muscle thing, those guys, I had a friend of mine that competed in a bodybuilding contest, and he told me, he said, when I'm out there, and most of those guys, he said, we're about to pass out. We haven't had a drink of water. We haven't had a drink of water in 2 days. He said, oh no. He said, and as soon as every bodybuilding contest, as soon as they get through, when everything's over with, they all jump in cars and they go to the closest pizza place and they just carb out as much as, I mean, they just eat like crazy. Because they've had nothing. They've had nothing. And
it's crazy.
This. He was getting ready to go on. And he was in the 50 and above or whatever. And he had done all of this. I went to church with him at the time. And he was nothing but skin and bones, but his abs, I could see his liver. I mean, I'm telling you, man, he had no body fat whatsoever. So he said 10 minutes before he gets ready to go on, he's really thirsty. So he pours himself a cup of water. And as he's turning the water up, one of the other competitors slapped the cup out of his hand. And he said, man, if you drink a cup of water before you walk out there, you're done. He said, your body, it just doesn't look the same.
A cup of water.
You're dehydrated. As soon as they come off the stage and the contest is over, they are drinking water. They're drinking tea. They're going to the pizza place. They're drinking pitchers of beer because they're starving and they're thirsty.
Well, here's what some abs look like after some wine. All right.
You look good. No, you look good. You got nothing to apologize for. You look good.
Yeah, that workout.
So
good for you.
The thing that set me free, a meme circulated probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was this adorable little baby, maybe 18 months old. And she was wearing a little red bikini. And she was a chunky baby. You know that chunky baby vibe?
Yeah.
And the text on the picture, and she was scowling at the camera, just mean mugging the camera. And the text on the meme said, "Beach gonna get whatever body I bring it." And I was like, yes, Miss Girl, you are my hero. I do not participate in any of that toxic diet culture. I hate it. And as far as Cosmo goes, every month when they say, please him in the bedroom, if I'm awake in the bedroom, he's pleased. I don't have to get any crazier than that. And I refuse to. Like, I'm just done. This woman.
That is so true. Guys are so simple. You don't have to swing from the fan and the ceiling. Guys are very, very simple. That whole Cosmo thing that went on, is it still? I don't even know if it's still a magazine.
Oh yeah.
Of ways that you need to please your man or experience a deeper orgasm or whatever it was during the 1980s. All you have to do is show up.
They had every month they would have like the position guaranteed to rock your world. And I'm like, is it CEO? Because if it ain't, I am not.
I want to say quick,
myself.
before I forget, and we'll get back on this in a moment. Let's see. Connie said hello from Cannon Beach. I think, is Cannon Beach in Oregon? Is it a famous beach in Oregon? I think it is. I hope one of our listeners will correct me or Connie will come back. I think it's one of those beaches in Oregon. Have you ever seen them where they have these giant outcroppings of rock?
Yeah.
Right off the beach. I want to know. And thank you, Connie, very much. I'm sorry for bifurcating us down.
I'm sorry, I don't know all my geography that way. I don't know where everything is.
Yeah.
Cannon Beach is in Oregon and stunning.
There you go.
There
you go. And then Teresa said, Bob said orgasm.
Wow. Oh, there you go. There's a twofer for you, girl.
Yeah.
There's a twofer for you. I'm serious. Like, I think it's important to be healthy and to take care of yourself. But the beach is going to get whatever body I bring it. And I just can't. I can't. And after talking to that guy today, I mean, we laughed so hard about the men's health thing. But it's like, why are we suckers for that? Like, we have such a short time on this beautiful planet, and we spend so much of it hating ourselves.
I know, you're exactly right. I saw a thing today when I was getting ready for the show, and I didn't use it, and it was a statistic, and who knows if these are true or not, but that said that 40% of women at this time of the year will turn down going on a beach weekend or whatever because they don't like the way they look in a bathing suit. Which
here's what I applaud on the beach.
Incredibly sad.
A woman that's confident, walks out there, and she give it to it. I mean, come on. No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You know what the thing is? Like, these messages make us all so self-conscious and embarrassed. But when was the last time you walked onto a beach and everybody stood up and turned and looked at you to judge your body? Like, it just doesn't happen.
You know, it doesn't.
It doesn't happen.
It really doesn't.
So
now I've walked out, you know, in my younger years, and I've, you know, experienced applause. But as far as, you know, just everyone looking.
Yeah, I have to read what Sheri Wallace wrote. In the 70s, we women were told to wrap ourselves in saran wrap and greet our man at the door. Do the punchline, Bob. You know what it is.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys were so bad, they go, leftovers again? That's an old Sheri is setting me up for one of the oldest jokes that I know.
No, I mean, there's just no way. And like the Cosmo thing, you know, Cosmo magazine, I don't know if it's still a print magazine, but it's a robust thing in your newsfeed.
I don't think it's print anymore. Have you seen it at the grocery store?
I haven't, but I mean, they have a website and they're always in Apple News. They're always in my newsfeed, and nothing has changed. Absolutely.
You know what I can't believe? I'm going to stay away from the political thing completely. I cannot believe the National Enquirer is still carried in Walmart and supermarkets around the country, because it's the biggest piece of crap that there is and has been for decades. 85%. I can't believe that they haven't just said, let's get rid of this garbage. There are kids standing in line.
They would sell a freeze-dried pig turd if somebody would buy it. Okay, capitalism.
Are there many people still buying it though?
Clearly, there are, or it wouldn't be front and center at the checkout.
Wouldn't be up there.
Yeah, I mean,
don't act like you don't pick it up when you see that headline and go, "What?"
I don't. As a matter of fact, you know what I do sometimes? I turn it around when nobody's looking. I turn it around the other way.
I love that you know what? You're an activist. You fight the power.
Yes, power to the people.
Yeah, that's right.
This is Bob at the grocery store. Salmon stew that isn't refrigerated, the National Enquirer.
That's true. And I'm right in both cases. Hi, Kathy Baker. Hi from Rhinebeck, New York. We had a great time in Rhinebeck, New York, didn't we? We went out to remember that beautiful inn?
Rhinebeck.
That inn on the corner of downtown?
Where George Washington met, General Washington.
That's right.
Yeah. I have a picture of me, you, and Tony there.
Yeah, yeah.
And in Rhinebeck, there's a little store that is co-owned by Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
it's like a candy or an ice cream store or something. Anyway, if I lived in Rhinebeck, I would be in that store. They'd have a restraining order every single day, hoping to catch a glimpse.
That's a great little town. I mean, if you wanted to live in, obviously, you know, it's cold weather during the winter. You wanted to live in a really almost perfect northeastern town. Rhinebeck would be it. It's almost European. It's wonderful.
The whole Hudson Valley, like, it's such an enchanted little wonderland. The entire Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, the other kitty's here. Yay! You have both of them tonight.
They both visited. It may be because I am late giving them their wet food. I forgot before we got on.
we have a cat now in our house. Hampton.
Is she around?
No, she's still a little bit skittish. Hampton and Mary went to a shelter and got this cat because Hampton is living alone, you know, and he's going to be finishing up college and then going on to who knows what, possibly dental school. And Mary said, you know, you need to have a little companion. And they found this little cat, and Hampton is going to be living with us here at the beach this summer because you can make a lot of money hustling tourists and restaurants. And he brought the cat in. Her name is Lucy. And she has never been out of one room in her life until she got here. And the other day, the door was left open and out she came. And I had not seen her. He's been here for about 5 days. And she came over and sat right next to me.
Oh, you're such a cat daddy.
I'm really not. But
you really are, though. Yeah,
she
you really are.
Me. Mary came in and she ran away. Finn, I'm with the cat again. This is just before we went on the air. Finn came walking around after my having fed him. and the cat was near me, and Finn walked up to the cat, and the cat looked up at Finn, and he looked down at the cat, and the two of them sort of nuzzled, and Finn walked away. This cat, it's a female cat, has a thing for guys. That I'm telling you, that's what it is. I can't figure anything else out, because Mary is this sweet. She's singing songs to the cat and all this and that. Cat doesn't care. She'll walk away.
Cats choose their people.
Yeah.
That's what's magnificent about a cat. A cat chooses you.
Yeah.
And you know what, Bob? I mean, you're over here going, I'm not a cat daddy. I'm not a cat daddy. I mean, you're a board magnet. I mean, just why don't you own your greatness for once?
Own my greatness.
Mm-hmm. I know that's a hard concept for you. Let's see if we can work around it.
I didn't know it existed yet for sale. I had no idea.
Oh, Jason Tannery's right. The more you deny it, Bob, the more true it is. They choose you.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to see some friends of mine in Connecticut in about 3 weeks. I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's just me. Mary's got, she got patience and all of that. And it was the passing of my friend Peter Neary's older brother, who I think I met a couple of times, but I did not really know. But he invited, there are two of us who are non-family members who were invited to the memorial service. And I look back sometimes on my choices where something like that would come up and I would decline for whatever reason. I've got kids. The kids drive me crazy. It's too expensive. And I just jumped on it. And I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. Yeah. And I'm going to see my friend Mike Jeremiah, who just got married. And so it's going to be really cool. And I have planned out where I am going to eat.
Of course you have.
Oh, yes, you have.
Do you want to hear where I'm going to eat?
Yes. I don't think we have a choice. I thought it was just coming one way or the other. So
appreciate you asking.
So I land in Hartford and I get my rental car and I am going to the Clam Castle in Madison that has full-bellied clam rolls. Not these strippy things. The bellies of the clams lightly fried in a lobster roll. That will be my lunch. And then I am going to go to one of the pizza joints that I like. I'm going to go to an Italian restaurant in my hometown of North Haven for dinner that night. And I'm going to go to the Guilford restaurant, which is called The Place, where you sit on stumps.
Yes.
And they roast lobsters, corn, and clams on a fire of wood. And I don't want to be with anyone. I'm going to see my friends, but I do not want to go out to dinner with them because I want to focus on this.
On your food.
No, I'm being honest.
No, I appreciate it. And it's, you know what?
Yes.
You be honest with yourself and then you can be honest with the world or not, but you be honest with yourself. You are there to have an experience with your food.
Regina,
and by the way, Billy,
Regina
that
Denton
wasn't
just
me
said
driving
Blackie.
with no lights. That wasn't me. I was in the passenger seat.
Regina just said Blackie's. That was the hot dog joint that I used to go to with my father, and I went there last time. I probably won't go this time, but yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to rent a car. I'm going to bring some old CDs that I still have up in the attic. I'm going to play the CDs as I go to the clam. What was the name of the place?
The Clam Castle.
The Clam Castle. I'm going to be playing those. I'm going to play a little Fogerty on the way to the Clam Castle, and nobody can tell me what to do. Okay.
You're the boss of you.
I'm the boss.
You're the ruler of yourself. Yeah.
You're
the captain of your own destiny at the Clam Castle.
Hmm.
And when you tell Mary, like when you call home to check in and you let her know that you were the captain of your own destiny at the Clam Castle, you know she's going to be excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How could she not be?
I know her. Yeah.
I'm going to be sending videos of her eating clam rolls with the beautiful bellies. She doesn't appreciate that. I'm a little disappointed in her.
Miss Sarah said she's heard of a Clam Castle before, but it was a very different business. Miss Sarah, why you got to ruin everything for the man? Look at him. He was so happy just a second ago.
I know.
Thank you, Coney.
Oh, somebody's been to the Clam Castle. Please tell me the Clam Castle offers paper crowns like Burke. No, they don't.
God, I hope so.
No,
but
they don't.
What? You know what, Cheryl? He will not. I'm not there. Let's say the Clam Castle has crowns and it looks like a big clam shell and you get to hold the little scepter. If I was there, I would make him do that and there would be pictures. But on his own, do you think he's going to do that? He's not.
He won't do it.
There's no place in New England that give you a little crown. You know, are you kidding me? There's no way. But
if you have yourself the castle, you almost have to have a crown. Burger King has Burger King crowns.
Burger King ain't got clam bellies. They're called clam bellies. And there's
no place in New England that gives you a little crown. Where in the world did you get all this from? This whole princely vibe that you radiate. And you have to explain what a clam belly is to people. Oh my God, people from outside of the Northeast do not know what a clam belly is.
There are some clam rolls you can get, and they're just stringy. It's just like a little stringy part of the clam. But if you open up a clam, and the clam has to be of a certain size, not a big quahog, but and not a cherry stone. It's just got to be of a certain size, and then they dredge it through some. My mouth is watering. Some flour, and so the clam belly is the actual clam. It's about that size, and then they fry it very quickly. Pop it into that toasted hot dog bun, which is split on the top. It's a certain type of bun.
So it's tender, not chewy.
Yes.
Clam strips are chewy, like eating a pencil eraser.
There is. I've said this before. I'm not talking about clam rolls, but just clams, raw clams. That is as close as you can get to tasting the Atlantic Ocean.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I love those. And I do want because the chat thing is going so fast. Pierre and Lisa Poitras in New Brunswick were saying, please say hi to New Brunswick, Canada. Greetings, bonjour, New Brunswick, Canada.
Oh, yes.
And by the way, every comment counts as an entry. We have prizes in the chat room or in the stream tonight. Every comment counts as an entry. Heather, I saw one person that said that they thought they won, but they didn't get contacted. So be on the lookout in your Facebook Messenger for a message from Heather. That's the way that you'll be contacted. And Suzanne Baggs said, we used to have clam pie growing up. Girl, I can't even touch that. I'm from Philly. Like, I can't even.
I would so eat that. Are you kidding me? I never even heard of that clam pie. I would have that clam. Kind of sounds.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah. Would you clam pie, Bob? That's why the ladies love you.
Yeah.
That's why you're the king of Clam Castle. Okay? That's how you got the crown. Because the king is like, I would so eat that clam pie. With gusto. All hail the king, ladies. All hail the king.
You know, in that situation, I will put the crown on.
And you deserve it. You filthy cloven hoof little monster. You deserve it. Oh my God. I don't know from experience, I just hear. I'm just hearing things.
Oh my God.
Somebody just said Bob doesn't trust clam pie. No.
Well, he's been burned so many times.
He's had some bad experiences.
He's had some tough times with clam pie. Yes. And let me tell you something else about Bob. Bob will be the first man to tell you that clam pie can be expensive, so you want to shop a little bit.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
All right then. Wow. Where were we?
Lamar laughed himself right on off. He'll come back.
Meredith said, my teenage daughter is listening. I'm so embarrassed that I'm dying of laughter at the same time. I got to get a glass of wine. I'm sorry. You're on your own.
Growing up in the woods with brothers, perhaps I should have gone to cotillion. So Lamar's having some technical problems. He'll come right back. We I'm reading some of these clam comments.
Oh boy.
We've had, I don't know what's going on today, but I had a bunch of technical problems today. And then Lamar's having technical problems tonight. So yeah, Charlotte says, get you a glass, Bob. You deserve it after that. A man gets thirsty. You know, the king works so hard for his people.
Let me tell you what how hard the king was working tonight with his dog. My dog, he's getting better, but he's had some inflammation. He's had some gastrointestinal problems and all. And I got a refill of the medicine. So the medicine is a little red pill about that size. And this guy is an amazing guy with hiding pills in his mouth. And Mary's not here. She's pretty good at getting it down. So it was up to me. So I got his greenie and I said, here's your greenie, but we have to get the pill first. And I get him to sit and I split the pill in half and I put it in his mouth. And I'm going, come on now, baby. Yeah, yeah. And he's going, okay, we got half of it down. Now let's get the other half down. And I was so proud of myself. And then I went to give him the greenie. And that damn pill is lodged right there.
I am so excited to tell you this. I got a DM from one of our listeners who has a dog like Finn that can detect the pill hidden in anything and get it out.
Yeah.
She uses like Pillsbury sugar cookie dough. So you give Finn a taste of you give him a little piece of the dough with no pill in it. And then the next piece has the pill.
I'll try that, but I don't think it'll work because when we were at the vet, they put the initial pill into one of those greeny little pouches, which are like $59 each. He ate it right there. I bought a package of them, and he knows something's up.
Let me shout out Patty Tyndall, who was one of our teacher winners coming to Margaritaville with us in July. Yay!
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Yay.
Very nice.
Have you tried ice cream? A bunch of people are suggesting ice cream.
I have not. I don't think of giving a dog ice cream. Do they even like ice cream?
You could get Frosty Paws. Ice cream for dogs at the grocery store.
Yeah. I dated her once, Frosty Paws.
Yeah. That was before he was the king of Clam Castle.
Right, exactly. She didn't give me
her loss.
Her loss. Damn straight.
Her loss entirely. Yeah, you could get. In fact, Jeremy and I were at the grocery store a couple nights ago, and they don't just have Frosty Paws. They have so many kinds of ice cream treats for dogs now. It's insane.
Before I hooked up with you on the air, I was doing the show with this guy, and he was really good at doing voices. You know, like he would do Abe Vigoda. He did a really good Abe Vigoda voice, and he did Reagan, and he did. But after a while, I just said to myself, and this is my professional instinct, which has made me who I am. I don't think you can really build a career on Abe Vigoda voices. And so, you know, I had to move him along. As a stunt once, I got some dog ice cream and had him taste it on the air. And I checked out ahead of time. It wasn't going to kill him or anything.
Yeah, it's just not sweet. Yeah.
And he's eating it and he's going, this is the worst ice cream I've ever had. And I said, that's because it's dog ice cream. And he did not go with the whole thing. He was offended.
He's in the wrong business.
He was in the wrong business.
Yeah, he's in the wrong
if your whole thing is being Abe Vigoda and you can't roll with eating dog ice cream, you need to get out of my life.
And you're in the wrong business. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you came along. God bless.
The queen of Clam Castle.
And then here we are at the Clam Castle.
Welcome to Trooping the Color. Kevin just texted me from upstairs and said, do any of your happy hour peeps have any advice about hand, foot, and mouth disease with little kids? One of our little ones has hand, foot, and mouth disease. It's a virus.
I've heard of it. What is that exactly? How do you get that?
It's a virus. It's super contagious.
You get that from like playing in the dirt or something like that?
You know how little kids touch things and put their hands in their mouth and lick things? Yeah. She's not but 2 years old.
Yeah.
I think we're wondering how contagious it is.
Yeah.
Is there any way to protect yourself from getting it?
Right.
Because
thanks for making it really sexy toward the end of the broadcast tonight, by the way.
Well, I mean, as the queen of Clam Castle, I must reach out to my subjects and ask for their wise counsel on hand, foot, and mouth disease.
You're the queen of Clam Castle? Really?
If you're the king of Clam Castle, oh, did you think I was like your valet at Clam Castle? Oh, sir, no. Oh, no, take the whole seat. No. If you're the king of Clam Castle, I get to be the queen.
We're going to have to discuss this.
Well, we have separate duties, clearly. You work harder, I'm not going to lie. And that's not something I've said to you before.
And those are the first words you've ever said regarding me.
Well, you're a hardworking king.
Yeah. Well, my specialties of ruling.
Uneasy is the head that wears the crown.
Oh yeah, literally. Right. Well, I think we've done some good work here. I do.
We've done the Lord's work here.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that actually, but I think we've done some good work.
People need it. Today is a very, I don't even know. Today is an unprecedented day in the United States of America, and people came to us for an escape from that. And as the king of Clam Castle, you have blessed your subjects with that.
I feel good. I feel good about the people, my people. And that's how I refer to them.
They feel good about their king, as I've been told.
Right. Right. So,
Lamar, what is the people's movie critic going to review on the show tomorrow?
Furiosa, the Mad Max saga. It's really, really good. Really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's good, but you got to hear the review. But it is good. I enjoy it every second. I really.
How about if you've never seen a Mad Max movie?
Stands alone. If I've seen everything, and that was great, but I could have not seen. I could have not have known even know who Mad Max was, and it was great. It's great. Anna Taylor-Joy is unbelievable. She does a great job. It's very good.
I have to say that tomorrow's episode of Talking Lamar, if you are a working mother, you have to listen to tomorrow's episode of Talking Lamar. Lamar's mother, Doris Richardson, should be a saint, like an actual whole saint, like with a candle and a holiday. Like that woman. Do not miss that. And on tomorrow's True Weird Stuff, it's called The Mad Scientist, and it tells the story of Jack Parsons, who invented solid rocket fuel, who, as a little boy, back when people thought rockets were like something out of Jules Verne and make-believe comic book stories, as a little boy in Pasadena, California, he knew that someday we could send someone to the moon. He never finished college, no formal education. He invented solid rocket fuel. He became the high priest of an occult sex temple in Los Angeles. And he got ripped off by L. Ron Hubbard, who used the money he stole from Jack Parsons to form Scientology. And Jack Parsons is one of the founders of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which to this day is NASA's research and development arm. You don't know his name because apparently, being like a high priest of a sex magic ritual temple gets you erased from the history books. That is tomorrow's True Weird Stuff. So Talking Lamar, X-Lax and Stomach Pumps, I believe is the title.
Yep.
The Mad Scientist on True Weird Stuff. And before we bounce out, Please raise your glass and hail the king of Clam Castle.
The king.
I appreciate it.
All hail the king. Long live the king.
I appreciate it. God bless you all. May you
We'll
flourish.
see you next time on Happy Hour. Bye, everybody.